This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce for the Views Expressed podcast. I will be live 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com. Today is the 27th of November, 2012, and I've got a lot to say. I've got a few things to straighten out. You know, just a couple things. Just something that you people need to understand. First of all, there's a picture on Facebook with Glenn Beck with a shirt on that has an eye on the front. Can you say art? Can you say creativity? Can you say, well, you can say anything you want. One person commented on the picture. It's on Facebook. I'll put it up on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. That said literally that, this person commenting said that Glenn Beck's Illuminati. Well, let me tell you something, okay? Let me get right down to brass tacks. You people absolutely do not know what you're talking about, ever, and never will. And I'll tell you why. It's real simple. No one person or one group has all the right answers. I don't. I don't even claim to have the right answers. I claim to have information. I encourage you to draw your own conclusions. That's the thing. Well, this is what I believe, and that's just the way it is, and I know he is. Well, how do you know? Have you sat down and talked with people? Has that person who commented on that picture of Glenn Beck with the eye on his t-shirt sat down with Mr. Beck and asked him, hey, what's up with the shirt? No. You know why? Because people like that literally, I know I'm going to piss somebody off when I say this. People like that are completely and utterly stupid. They always have been. They always will be. I like what Ron White says, the comedian Ron White. You can't fix stupid. Okay? I'll go one step further and say that if you're going to be completely and totally ignorant, ignoring the obvious, ignoring the obvious, then you need to put a bag over your head and punch a couple holes in it and go around and say all kinds of stupid things that you want because, hey, then nobody will know who you are. And you won't have people, ridiculing you or anything of that nature, if that's what you're afraid of. Speaking of being afraid, people criticize what they don't understand, and they fear what they don't understand. So they criticize what they fear. And the next step in that parade is trying to get rid of it. So they're going to say, well, I've got this and I've got that, and I will expose this person, expose that person. No, you won't, because you don't have all the right answers. Now, yesterday I talked about, on another podcast, which was yesterday, I recorded it yesterday, I talked about a host on Spreaker, Angel Diaz, who says he's going to lay it all out for you. He's going to take it and he's going to, expose Alex Jones and all this, that, and the other thing. Let me tell you something, Mr. Diaz, you're an idiot. I don't care if you've made lots of money, lost lots of money. I don't care if you have a PhD in BS. It doesn't matter. I've got degrees on my wall too. Humanities, come on. Does all that knowledge help me at all when I can understand the very simple fact that I don't know everything and that at some point I could be wrong about certain things? Oh, hell no. So, Mr. Diaz, shove it. You don't have it. You don't know it. You don't. Just go away, because unless you got something that really matters, you ain't got jack. Got it? And that goes with anybody else. My mother told me to figure it out, and I did. My grandmother told me very little about my mother. But my grandmother taught me things that were valuable for me. Basically, she taught me that if you tell someone something, you better have something to back it up with. My mother told me to figure it out. So I put 2 and 2 together. Hey, guess what? What I say, I can prove. And anybody else, or if I can't prove it at the moment, I say, well, I keep my promise. I will look this up, examine this, research this, and I'll get back to you. But I know a lot of people that say, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I got several friends who say that. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Yes, you do. You have to prove it to yourself. And if you're not intelligent enough to even understand that basic common sense piece of life, that anything that you question, anything that you see, if you are scratching your head or look at it and want to know more, you're going to have to learn about it, and you're going to have to prove to yourself that you understand that, whatever issue, whatever thing that is. So the first person you have to prove anything to is yourself. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. That is the lamest excuse I have ever heard in my life. It's pointless to sit there and to argue with somebody who says they don't have to prove anything. So guess what I do? Bye-bye. Have a nice day. Enjoy. You know, I don't get it. I don't get it. Honestly, I don't. I honestly don't get it. Okay? Honestly. My purpose of doing the Views Express Live and to doing these podcasts is to follow up on certain things that I didn't talk about on the show, or to preview certain things I'm going to talk about on the show. But it's also my way of just airing whatever is on my chest, whatever I've got on my mind. How many people can sit there and say, I know enough to blow anybody else away? In terms, let me backtrack and say this. How many of you can literally say with honesty and integrity that they have information that can bring down any other host, any other company, any government, anything? How many of you can say that? Not very many, right? I can't. I don't have everything, and I just don't. So when somebody comes out in this very vehement way and says, I'm going to, expose this person, I'm going to tear this person down, I'm going to do this, you know what? You're a freaking bully. Got it? You're a freaking bully. You don't like it? I don't care. You're a freaking bully, and I'm going to come against you every single freaking time. And if you don't like it, not my problem. Now, do I have anger against people like that? No. I'm frustrated. Yes. But I'm going to protect certain people. I am. Now, let me say this. We all don't have to agree with one another. We don't have to agree all the time. I find that there are certain things that Glenn Beck says that I don't agree with. There are certain things that Alex Jones says that I don't agree with. It's not that I'm just going to, I don't agree with that, I'm not going to listen to him. There's certain websites I go to, and I read a good portion of the website on the About Me or the About section, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, and I read a good portion of the website, And I get a good feel that the information that I've received from that website is, number one, credible, and number two, very useful. And it helps me understand that those people that run the website. I know somebody that has told me personally, oh, I went to a website once and read like a paragraph and I didn't like it, so they're full of crap. That whole website and all the people there are full of crap. Oh, and you only read one paragraph. Well, that's all I need. Really? So you actually know the leader, or the website webmaster and the people running and all this, so you know them and you know how they are. Well, no, I don't have to. I just read it and I can tell from there. No, you can't. Okay, let me test you. Let me throw this test out at you. And I'm going to preface it by saying this. I have never read Huckleberry Finn or Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. I never have. So let me test you. As an example, as an analogy, as a metaphor, as whatever you want to call it, whatever. You're going to tell me that you are the type of person who is intellectually sound and has the intellectual prowess to just go to the book such as, let's say, Tom Sawyer, read the first 2 chapters, and know everything in that book. How the characters are, what the attitudes are, what the theme is, what the setting is. You know everything about that book just by reading 2 chapters, right? Boy, can you give me that gift? I'd love that. Nobody knows everything. Nobody has everything. Nobody can take in all this information and say, I'm going to expose, you name it. So I direct my next statement to the following people. Angel Diaz, he's a host here on Spreaker. Any number of people on Spreaker that think that they have every single piece of evidence and every single piece of information that is going to blow the doors off of all these conservative talk show hosts. I'm nonpartisan. I don't really care. I listen to both sides. I draw my own conclusions. If I still have questions, I go do my homework. There you go. That's called, wait for it, common sense. It works. Okay? You people that want to blow the doors off of Glenn Beck and expose these people and do this and do, you're a bunch of idiots. Pack your crap and go away. Okay? Just because, it's not that we don't want to hear you. We already know what you're going to say. I'm here, specifically with Angel Diaz, I hear him say, well, I have the truth, and that's all I'm after is the truth, and that's all I want to use is the truth and tell you about. Fine. But don't go after anybody. Don't try to expose anybody. What you need to do is take that truth and expose the fact that 9/11 was an inside job, that the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers run the banks and run all of the financial institutions, including the Bank of London and the Bank of, here in America, in Washington, D.C. By the way, they have their own bank in Washington, D.C., not part of the rest of the United States. Why don't you expose that truth, Mr. Diaz? Why don't you expose all of that instead of going after some particular individual, no matter who it is you can think of, and tearing them down? Because that doesn't make you look good. What that makes you look like is a damn bully. And I am going to stand against you. Yes, I said it. There you go. Onward and upward to bigger and better things. I'm going to be nice now. Going to be nice. Coming back from this break. Little 30-second break, nothing long. I'm going to get into some things that you will find on Liberty and Freedom Network. Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Go check that out. This is the Views Expressed right here on Views Expressed Podcast. I'm not live, but right here on Spreaker.com. This is the Views Express Podcast for the 27th of November 2012. Come join me on the Views Express Live, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker.com. Go to our website, freeamericaradio.wix, it's wix.com/the Views Expressed. Check it out. Getting into some more stuff, go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Please do. Thank you. Follow us there. Thank you. Going there, let me, first of all, share with you from Liberty and Freedom Foundation, not my group, Liberty and Freedom Foundation on Facebook, says Republicans in Republicans in Senate introduced their own DREAM Act immigration reform for children of illegals that is based on how much college someone completes. Let me read on. Republicans in the Senate have floated a new immigration reform proposal for the children of illegals that is sensible and does not grant blanket amnesty like Democrats do. The legislation would reward students whose parents brought them here illegally as children with higher status the further along they are in pursuing their education. Those who earn a 4-year college degree or complete military service could apply for a permanent visa that wouldn't put them on a new path to citizenship, but would allow them to join existing lines. This is different than the Democrats who grant access to citizenship if someone is up to 30 years old and has taken just one online class in their life. This doesn't allow anyone to skip ahead of an immigrant who has been waiting years and actually makes them advance in college to get higher status. This is a good start and a sensible one. And they said here, click like if you think that any immigration reform has to start with the fact that no illegal can be put in the line to residency ahead of someone who has been trying to enter the country legally, and this is a sensible approach. I will like that. Okay? It doesn't address financial aid. It doesn't address tuition. It doesn't address any of that. Okay? But look at it this way. Just to give you a little heads up, we went to a local fast food joint here in Reno, Nevada, and there was a sign, and I looked at the sign. I was curious as to what the sign said, so I read the sign, and it basically said, if you're illegal, this certain popular fast food joint is not going to ask you about your immigration status. You are basically hired on the spot. So, yeah, you're illegal, you can get a job here. Just walk on over the border, if you can make it, and just get a job. There you go. And that's kind of stupid, but that's just the way it is. That's the way the Democrats want it. Because you know why? They want votes. They want the illegals to vote so that they can take away your guns and all of that. So, by the way, big story in the Examiner.com. I'll read about this more on the Views Express Live on at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker. And there we go. I'm sorry. I had to pause there for a minute. I went back to the DJ console and didn't see anything. It was kind of like, whoa. Sometimes it screws up. My browser freezes and everything freezes up and it goes from there, and it's a real pain in the butt. But anyway, from theexaminer.com, it does say, Facebook warning hoax chides privacy copyright policy, written at theexaminer.com by Bruce Baker. Thank you, Bruce, over there, Examiner. Says another Facebook warning hoax is duping users again. However, the chain letter is not officially from Mark Zuckerberg's public company. Instead, it's a sarcastic response to the social media giant doing away with community voting for its online copyright and privacy policies. Here's the best advice. Don't copy and paste the message to your Facebook timeline. On November 26, PC World reminded readers that the viral message has reared its ugly face again. Recall that several months back when Facebook became a publicly traded company on NASDAQ, ticker symbol FB, a Facebook warning hoax surfaced. Both fake Facebook warning messages read, quote, in response to the new Facebook guidelines, I hereby declare my copyright is attached to all of my personal details, illustrations, comics, paintings, professional photos, and videos, etc. As a result of the Berner Convention, for commercial use of the above, my written consent is needed at all times, unquote. It goes on to suggest that users copy and paste the message into their timeline in order to protect their rights and prevent Facebook or anyone else from using their content. Hogwash. The Facebook warning is a hoax. Ignore it and tell your friends and family to do the same. Remember that literally anything you post online is fair game. If you fail to read the disclaimers and online privacy policy, you have no one to blame for your stuff being used or shared. If you're one of the few remaining souls who doesn't have an account with the social media behemoth and are considering joining the craze, I love how they put that, read Facebook's terms, policies, and data usage. In the end, if you don't agree, just don't open an account. For others perturbed by Zuckerberg and company's decision to stop allowing the community to vote on privacy copyright issues, you have the option to close your account. Just remember to ignore the Facebook warning hoax going around. Furthermore, don't be duped into thinking the picture you are flipping the bird at Arlington Cemetery is for your eyes only. In other words, that was basically a long version of saying deal with it. It's a hoax that the Facebook people, the people who are putting, who are copying and pasting that into their profile and into their timeline, it's bullcrap. It's a hoax. So deal with it. It's not going to matter no matter what. So deal with it. Well, guess what? We will deal with it. We're going to deal with it in court. The pictures I take, the articles that I write personally that have my name on them are all copywritten and will be. And any pictures that I post with my name on them with a copyright date on it that I post on Facebook, if Facebook wants to use that, they're going to have to pay me. Period. It's called intellectual property. My name on my picture, on my stuff, with a copyright date on it, requires the people using it for whatever reason to pay me. Period. You don't like it? We'll go to the United States Supreme Court and talk about copyright laws there. How about that, Mr. Facebook? Huh? Hey, Mark Zuckerberg. How do you like that $50 million George Soros gave you to run your company? Yeah. Don't like it so much now, do you? There's a lot of things on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook that I'm going to talk about on the Views Express Live. And there's just so much. There's just so much. I'll give you some headlines here. Police and military envision advanced drones being used in the future. Susan Posel wrote that article over at OccupyCorporatism.com. Also, Shadowhawk police drones have already been purchased and are ready to be deployed when cops decide the moment is right. Okay? You can go to theblaze.com for that one. UN Global Gun Ban Flim Flam. Written by Joe Wolverton II. Yesterday, on November 7th, the First Committee of the United Nations General Assembly voted 157-0 with 18 abstentions in favor of Resolution L-11 that will finalize arms trade treaty in March of 2013. It's also on Liberty and Freedom Network. You can go check that out. FERC, F-E-R-C, which stands for Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, has provided aspiring terrorists with an idea. Use a .22 rifle to take out power transformers. Yeah. How do you like that one? Go to Infowars.com on that one. They are a credible outlet for news. Thank you very much. Also, there's a link up there that says weather modification and geoengineering industry exposed. I read a lot of this, well, not a lot of it, but yesterday I read quite a bit of that. Had my views on certain things. But let me back up for a moment, just for a couple of minutes. We are in a situation in our lives where we're pissing and moaning and groaning with each other about who's right and who's wrong. Whose ego needs to be stroked more and all this, that, and the other thing. That's bull crap, okay? Just bull crap. Do you understand me? Why don't we take that effort that we have against one another and focus our attention on the big-ass train coming at us? How about the multi-millions of people out there who do not understand that there is a new world order? It's all out. It's all on record. It's all out in the public now. And they're incrementally doing everything we don't want them to do. Why don't we gear our attention to telling those people about that? Huh? You want to expose somebody? Why don't we expose the New World Order? Why don't we expose George H.W. Bush, King Bush the First, as I like to refer to him as? Why don't we expose his son, George W. Bush, for the totalitarian type of policies he's introduced under the Patriot Act and under the Homeland Security? Why don't we expose that instead of trying to expose somebody else? This is something that might be novel, would it not? So let's try doing that. Huh? I'm going to go to break. Come right back. Wrap her up. We shall get into... Well, I'm just going to wrap it up because I want you to come to the show. The Views Expressed live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Broadcasting on Spreaker.com. The people of the world are bound by the collective mindset of the true controllers of the United States of America and the rest of the world. The chains of tyranny are being tightened around the liberties and freedoms of free societies. It is the obligation and the duty of those that seek to adhere to the principles of our founding fathers to defend the Constitution and the Bill of Rights from enemies, foreign and domestic. We, the people, have the power. We have the ability to change the direction of our lives. We have the ability to get the word out to others that we must rise, stand, and defend our families and friends from the onslaught of the leaders that want tyranny in the United States of America. We, the people, have the power. We are America. The views expressed Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Spreaker.com. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce for the 27th of November, 2012. This is the Views Expressed podcast. We will be live 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Views Expressed Live, broadcasting on Spreaker.com. There's a lot, just a lot. Let me crank this up. Yes, I like that. That music is from freeplaymusic.com. Most of it's free. Some of it you gotta, purchase and that kind of thing. Also, some of the other music I play on the podcast or on the live show are from aviary.com. And you can find all sorts of free music out there as well. But I give all them the credit because, hey, why not? They're the ones that put it together, right? So anyway, you can go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Check out what we're going to be talking about on the Views Express Live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And, let me wrap it up just by saying this. First of all, it's not that I don't like people, like Angel Diaz or anybody else like that who says they have information that's going to expose somebody and this, that, and the other thing. I just think their focus is their focus. They've been distracted by what they're focusing on. Okay, so they need to take all of that information and point it at the New World Order instead of pointing it at somebody else. We're all on the front line of this here. We're all, I don't even want to put myself in anywhere near the caliber of Glenn Beck or Alex Jones or Michael Savage or Rush Limbaugh or anybody of that. I'm more or less the captain behind the scenes, leading my men because, these people are out there giving us the information and doing the reconnaissance work and doing all of that and stating, here's where the enemy is, here's where you need to focus on, here's what you need to do. So if any one of my fellow libertarian, constitutional libertarians and people who are patriotic turn their heads and look back at their leaders and say, or look back at the people that are giving them the information, no matter who they are, and saying that person's wrong and I'm going to expose them, that person needs to just pack their crap and go away. They do. They just need to pack up and go away. Okay? They just need to. Okay? I don't know how else I can put that. It's not like you're in the middle of a baseball game and the visiting team, you're on the home team and the visiting team has 15 points more than you, and you're like, screw it, I'm just going to throw the towel in and go home. It's not like that. It's like, here's a person who's going to give you information for you to use to battle the enemy, and you're turning around and criticizing them? I mean, this is really, 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 really stupid. And I think anybody like that needs to go back to the office, metaphorically speaking, sit down and regroup and look at the information and examine, everything that's out there and say, wait a minute, I want to get myself back in the game, but I need to really examine this information to its fullest extent. And I need to make sure I'm doing this for the right reasons. I don't want to go out there and criticize the people that give me this information. I want to go out there and do what I have to do and do the best I can. So that is my advice to those people who look at me and say that I'm full of crap. Why don't you shut the hell up and go your own way? And for those people who are on my side but distracted and are unfocused, I'm telling you, go back to the office, metaphorically speaking, check yourself, learn more, and then get back out on the field. You know? If you can't do that, I'm sorry. What are you doing? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, anyway. You want to get a hold of me? Cool. You can do that. You can go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. You can email me there, or you can email me at libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. If you're on the website, you can email me there as well. But if you're on the website, please go to the right-hand side of the page. You'll see a book, Many Directions of Man. That's a book I wrote, just my observations of what's going on and some possible solutions, that's all. And on the left-hand side, you'll see a tab that says Store. You can go promote your patriotism and promote Liberty and Freedom Network all at the same time by buying stuff. And if you're on the left-hand side of the web page, go down to the bottom there and you'll see a donate button. If you want to donate to the site, to the show, that's all you'll be doing is helping keep the website up and the show going. So thank you for your support. I do appreciate that very, very much. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here. You're going to go do your thing. I'm going to go do my thing, and we're going to have a happy Tuesday. So this is the 27th of November, 2012. I am Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. Come check out The Views Express Live, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com.